Okay, so here's my driver's side lens, and I'm just going to demonstrate what I'm going to be doing on this lens before tinting it on just one of them. It's identical for both sides. You know, I don't have to go through the whole process on both sides, but depending on the age and mileage of your car, you may actually notice damage to your lenses. And some of that can actually be taken out with ordinary toothpaste. As funny as that sounds, ordinary toothpaste can actually take some of this out. It's really good for taking out the faded look, the oxidization that happens. But I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how you do that. The first thing that you need to do is obviously clean the lenses really good using just regular old soap and water. Okay, I've used soap and water and I've cleaned them up as good as I can. What is remaining is actually physical scratches that I probably won't be able to take care of, but there's some fading that is already starting in this area here. I'm not sure how well the camera is actually going to show that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use ordinary toothpaste, and I'm going to use a sponge cloth. This is you could use a sponge. There are kits out there that'll do this, but in my opinion they're really expensive and pointless when you can just do it like this. So I'm using this soft spongy rag to actually work the toothpaste in, and it's actually pretty simple to do. You don't have to use a lot, but I find that when you just run it across just like that, and then take your cloth or your sponge and just work it in. And I know that it looks, you know, horrible. I mean, look at this. I mean, you're getting toothpaste all over your lens. I know this looks bad, but trust me, you're going to appreciate the end result. And of course, on the Grand Prix, you want to make sure you get this top portion too, which gets scratched up by things like the trunk and whatever else may get in there. But essentially, just work it in. You know, you don't just rub back and forth and you're done. You use circular motion and just work it in. Just work it for a while, and once you've worked it for a while, then you'll start to see the difference that toothpaste actually makes. It's kind of funny how it all works, but as the toothpaste gets worked in, you'll see the lens actually clear up. Now mine weren't that bad, but I'm going to go ahead and take care of this now so that I don't have to down the road. As I said, there's kits out there that'll do this. I find toothpaste actually works just fine. Now if you have a severe case where you've got some real deep scratches, physical damage, you either have to get a new lens or you will have to buy one of those expensive kits that supposedly will guarantee you getting out even the worst of the lens. So you can see here I've worked this in pretty well. You know, you want to apply some pressure, but not too much pressure. You know, you don't want to make the scratches worse. And once you're done with that, which probably am pretty good right now, then you just take your soap and water and wash it off. And you know, if I were outside, I would actually use a hose to do this, but because I'm not, I'm just going to use my soap and water rag. And that'll make sure that I get all the toothpaste off and out. And you just wash it really good. Try to get all the toothpaste that's in this rubber piece here, this lining. Get it all on top here. Just kind of clean it up really good. Okay, I know it's probably hard to tell on camera, but I can tell in person that it has improved the clearness of this lens. Some of the gouges that are actually in the lens from either a rock, you know, maybe even possibly a bug or whatever, that's not going to come out. But it went ahead and cleared up this lens pretty nice. It was already pretty nice, but this just went a little bit extra. You know, just kind of make sure that you, you know, dry it off really good. And as a side note, this piece up here, this rubber piece here, I decided not to take it off. I don't see the point because you know, there's a little bit of lens under there, but it's not like it's going to show. So I just left it on there. But you can, in fact, take this rubber piece off here. There's these little slots here that hold this in place, and you just pull up on it, and this whole rubber piece will actually come off. So that's optional if you wanted to do that. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the tint. Make sure the surface is entirely clean. Obviously, I showed you that I use toothpaste to really clear this up. It's completely dry, so there's no dirt, there's no toothpaste on it anymore, and there's no water. It's completely dry, so now it's ready for the tint. Now, I just want to make sure that you're aware of laws that may pertain to your area regarding tint. It's possible that this isn't allowed. I'm actually going to be just basically smoking these lenses. I'm not going to completely black them out. I'm just going to use a smoke technique, and I'll show you what I'm going to use and so on later on. But you want to make sure that you check your local laws that pertain to this particular thing that you're going to be doing. And you know, you could in fact black these out, but be aware that the darker you paint them, the less light is actually going to be allowed out. So you may need to get brighter headlamps, bulbs, in order to allow more light out. Because if you really applied several, so you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 coats on this, less light is going to be allowed out. So it's going to be harder for you to see. For me, I'm just going to apply a couple of light coats to darken it up, give it kind of a smoke look. And so you know, I'm not going to be worried about you know, not being able to see anymore at night because it's too dark. So just be aware of your laws. Make sure that you know what you're doing. You know, don't apply too many coats so you can't see anymore. You know, your safety and the safety of other people on the road is definitely important. So just be aware of that. So let's go ahead and get these outside and we'll start tinting them. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that you do this in a well-ventilated area. I'm doing this outside on my balcony, so this is actually what I'm going to be using to apply the tint. This is a Rust-Oleum lens tint. It's meant for clear plastic lenses, you know, brake lenses, headlamps, and you know, it'll tint out the actual headlamps. Now, you could use, they make kits for any style of lens that's already cut out, and it's similar to applying it to your windows, except you basically apply it to your lenses. It's a sheet, and you just apply it over the top, and that's fine. I prefer to use the actual spray. I think it's easier, personally, plus you can make it as light or as dark as you want. So just be aware that you know, if you don't have any experience doing this kind of stuff, you may actually make it look a lot worse than it should be. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Now I have it in a position where I can reach the top of the lens here and the side of the lens, basically getting it all around. So you just, you know, shake it up really good. I've used it here in the last couple minutes, so I've already got it nice and shook up. But just basically take it and nice. You don't want to be too far away, you know, way up here, and you don't want to be too close because then you're going to actually apply more in a certain area. Usually about 8 inches is what I would say, and you just nice coats all the way across, and I'll show you. Okay, so I've applied my first coat. You can already see how much darker it is. And I'm going to let this dry for probably about 2 hours. Then I'm going to apply a second coat. Let that dry for a couple hours, then apply a third coat. That's all I'm going to do is 3 coats. You could do more depending on how dark you want them, but again, like I said, the darker you make them, the less light that's going to be coming out of these. So it may look cool, but you'll hardly be able to see at night. So yeah, we're done with this one, and we'll do the other one identical. Let them sit overnight and get them reinstalled. Okay, so I've completed all the coats. As you can see here, They're not completely blacked out. This is the look that I chose. I wanted a sort of a semi-smoke look to them. I did not want to completely black them out. So I added lighter coats each time, and they actually turned out really well. Did a pretty good job. So I'm going to go ahead and get these reinstalled in the car, and I'll show you what they look like when they're all lit up. So if you wanted to really darken these out, then obviously you would use thicker coats each time. So yeah, looks good. Okay guys, this is a daytime shot, and as you can see, the camera probably doesn't do it justice, but you can see that the headlamps are smoked, and I think it looks pretty cool. It's not completely tinted out, but it's smoked. I'm going to do these next, and I might even do those, I'm not sure, but my car has to go in the shop next week because of the deer that I hit, so I'm going to wait to do those until after, but I think this turned out really good. I'll get a night shot here pretty quick. Pretty cool. Okay guys, here's the daytime shot of the lamps, and you can't tell during the daytime just how bright they are. You have to wait till night, but they still look really good. Even with that tint on there, I can definitely tell that they are brighter than the previous bulbs. So I'm pretty excited about that.